You're listening to Your Highest Self podcast, episode number 17. These two words are killing your growth. Welcome back to the show, guys. My name is Shanae, and I'm your host. Thank you so much for investing in yourself today and doing it with me. I'm super excited to have you here. If you're a regular listener, welcome back. And if you're new to the show, hello. So nice to meet you. In this show, I provide you holistic solutions for your fitness, nutrition, and mindset as you step into your highest self, because I believe all those three things are interconnected. And if you want to have a balanced lifestyle, a lifestyle that is filled with love and success and fulfillment, it's going to take all three. So in today's episode, we're going to be talking about the two words. These two words are my pet peeve. And they are killing your growth. This is what's holding you back. It's part of your mindset. Those two words are I know. I know. Okay. How many times do you find yourself saying, I know, when someone is giving you advice? Or you're on a call with your coach, you're on a coaching session and you're, saying what you're having struggle with, or you're talking about what you, I'm like mixing up my words. You're talking about what you're struggling with and your coach is giving you advice and you're like, yeah, I know, right? It's my pet peeve. I've done it too though. So this is coming from experience, and those two words are killing your growth. And I'm going to teach you the three reasons why they're killing your growth and then how you can overcome that. So I hope you enjoy today's episode. And if you do, make sure you reach out to me on Instagram. I love hearing from you guys. And also, the world to me if you rated and reviewed the podcast so that other people can find it. I'm really, really, like, what I really wish in this world is to, it's just to help women, help you guys be more of your highest self, like have this fitness lifestyle that is sustainable and balanced, and like for you to up level your mindset and reach your dreams and reach your goals from a place of love and balance and as your highest self. So that's why I would love for this episode to get out there. So anyways, let's get into it. The three reasons why. The first reason why I know is killing your mindset growth game is because when you say I know, what it does is it's your refusal to accept the present, which means you're fighting with reality. This is a Byron Katie saying that when we fight against reality, we are effectively unable to grow or even learn from the situation because we are projecting ourselves out into the future. So for example, you say, oh, I'm just having a hard time sticking to my nutrition because my friends are judging me for my food choices. And so I'm feeling insecure. And then say, like, they give you advice and you're like, well, I know. Okay. That means that you're not accepting the present. You are like, you're refusing to see that this is what reality is. And when you refuse to look at it and to accept responsibility for this is the way that you are versus like pushing it off and saying, well, I know, then you're never going to fix it. Like, you're never going to get better, because when you fight with reality, you are not allowing yourself to be present. I hope that makes sense. But honestly, it's like, circumstances are these things that happen, okay? And then your thoughts are what make it positive or negative. So when you say I know about a circumstance, you're actually creating a negative thought around it, okay? But if you look at the circumstance, right, your problem, your situation, and if you can come at it from a neutral perspective, so instead of saying I know, look at it from a perspective of curiosity. It's like, there's this thing that I'm struggling with and I can't get myself to get over it. I know what the problem is, but why can't I overcome it? Then you're flipping the script, you're becoming present, you're accepting reality. You accept that this is your problem. And instead of saying, I know, and brushing it off like something that you have to deal with, look at it with curiosity and be like, what is it about the situation that I'm struggling with? Does that make sense? So that's the first thing. You're fighting with reality, and that's why it's killing your growth game. You're not going to be able to overcome it if you continuously say that you know, because you don't know. If you did know, you wouldn't repeat it over and over and over again, right? Situation number two, when you continuously say, I know, you are putting yourself in victim mentality. If you need a refresher of what victim versus victor mentality is, you can go back into the show. I think it is episode number 8. And basically, when you are in victim mentality, you are refusing to take responsibility for your problems. You want to be a victim. You want other people to take the blame, or you don't want to accept that it's your fault. That's what saying I know is. It's like you want to be a victim. You want to stay stuck. And I know that's hard to hear, and most people don't really believe me when I say that, but then they kind of think about it and it's like, you're right. Like, I want to be a victim. Like, it feels good to be a victim. You get emotionally addicted to becoming a victim. And like we talked about in a previous episode, like, your beliefs are the glass ceiling of your potential. If your belief is that you know, and like you just can't, this is something that you struggle with and you know what to do, but it doesn't happen, that becomes your story. And when that becomes your story, like, you're not ever going to be a victor. You're always going to stay stuck in that victim mentality. So we want to break that. Take away those two words, I know, and swap them for something else. Or when you hear yourself saying them, don't say it out loud. Number 3, the last reason why is, I have the wrong episode notes up. The last reason, okay, is knowing is different than embodying. So just because you know something, like, knowledge is not power. Applied knowledge is power, because you could know all the things. You could read all the books, have all the steps to something, like, know a recipe by like the back of your hand. But if you don't actually put it into action, it does nothing for you. This is where analysis paralysis comes from. Like, you research all the things and you know all the things, but you fail to take the first step. You fail to put yourself out there. So knowing is a lot different than embodying. Embodying means that you take inspired action. You take that knowledge and you apply it, you embody it. So if someone is struggling with their self-love and I give them advice and they go, I know, it's like, okay, well, but it's much different than being. It's much different to embody that advice and to become it, rather than just say but not actually do anything with it. It's kind of like the same as a doctor who is like incredibly unhealthy, right? They know better, but just because you know better doesn't always mean you do better. Same with like a broke financial advisor. They know how to make investments. They know how to save money, but they are broke because they're not embodying all the tips and the actions that they know and that they teach their clients. So what is it that they say, moms, like, do as I say, not as I do? Like, that shouldn't even be a thing. Like, let's not lead the world that way. Like, I would love for you to look at me and see the things that I'm doing and want to model that behavior, rather than just me telling you to do something and you following along. Does that make sense? And you guys probably do. You probably see how I live my life. You see the decisions I make, the choices I make, how I honor my body, and how I don't force myself to exercise when I really need rest and relaxation, but also I'm not lazy at the same time. Like, you see what I'm doing and you copy that versus just do what I tell you to. Does that make sense? So embodying is so much different than just knowing. And the last thing that I don't have written on my notes, but I really want to talk about is this belief that, like, and then, like, you can't. You know that you can do something, but then at the same time, you just feel like you can't. And this all really boils down to a lack of self-worth, a lack of self-love. Basically, what my whole show is built on. I want you to know that you can. You can. Like, if there's a dream that you want to go after, if there's just a habit that you want to instill, if there's just a new way that you want to be, like, you want to be able to communicate better, you can. The only thing that is standing in the way of you and your goals and your dreams are yourself. Yes, there's steps. Yes, there's time, but beneath all of that is really just the willingness to do it. So stop saying I know, but I can't do it, and start saying I can. Or if you don't know how, you say, I don't know how, but I will. Like, I will. I believe in myself. I just remember, like, I used to, I wanted to be a health and fitness coach like forever. I graduated college with a degree in city regional planning, and I during my senior year of college is when I started exercising. I did a bikini prep. And that whole next year, I was like, I want to build an online business. This is back in 2013, like before online businesses were like popular or a thing. And I regret how much time I wasted just learning. Like, I learned all there is to know about websites, all there is to know about nutrition, all there is to know about fitness. I spent so much time learning, 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 and not taking any action. And when I would reach out to someone for help, or when I would like talk to someone else who does online fitness coaching, and they would say, oh, I do X, Y, and Z, the words that popped up in my head were like, I know, I know. And then eventually I got tired of saying I know, because I was like, Shanae, like, if you know all this stuff, then why don't you have a business? If you know all this stuff, like, why haven't you accomplished anything? It wasn't until like 2017 that I stopped saying I know and I started doing. And if somebody was giving me advice, that's when I started. 2017 was the year I invested in coaches for my business. That was the year that if a coach gave me advice on something, if I said I know, then I would take that thing that they told me to do and I would do it every single day. Because if I had the audacity to say I know, then I also have the time and the audacity to actually put it into action. So I just remember being that person, always saying I know. Well, first of all, just being the person who took years to believe in myself. So from like 2013 to 2017, it took me 4 years to develop the self-belief to go all in with building a business. And with building a business, what I mean is like actually putting myself out there and saying, hey, I can help you. During that time, I had been a personal trainer. I am a very, very good trainer. I had a very successful business. I still do. But I just didn't have the self-belief to like go online and be like, hey, I'm taking online clients. So it took me 4 years to build that self-belief. I regret not doing it sooner, but also at the same time, there's divine timing. I wasn't ready yet. Like, I'm the person I am today because of all those years that I spent cultivating my knowledge, like behind the scenes, versus just like saying I'm an online fitness coach and putting myself out there too fast. So there is a balance of like making sure you know enough and that you're not a fraud, and also not getting caught up in analysis paralysis. So that was a little bit of a tangent, but I hope that made sense. Just for my own personal life, like, you got to have self-belief. You got to put yourself out there. And if you have all the self-belief and you keep saying, I know, then like, it's time you buckle down, stop saying I know, and actually put everything you do know into action, because you're not getting anywhere. Mic drop. Yes. All right. So that's about it. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I hope that it was helpful for you. If it was, DM me on Instagram. DM me on Instagram. I am tripping over my words today. DM me, let me know. And that's it. I hope that you have an amazing week. I'll see you here next week, same time, same place. Don't forget to be your highest self this week. Bye, girl. Bye.